Hi, my name's Leon Rowe, currency trader and trading coach at trading180.com, and welcome to this week's supply and demand Forex technical analysis. If you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. The Forex currency pairs are time-stamped in the description box below, so you can skip to your favorite pairs or you can watch the whole video, which I encourage you to do so if you're interested in trading supply and demand and getting, a bit of education. And in this video, I'm going to be also going over a trade on the dollar Swiss and my reasons for going over, which include, some fundamental analysis as well, right? So as we do every week, we start off on the Dow Jones Dollar Index, right? And this week, from last week anyway, we did get a bounce of this demand zone here. And as you know, I've been bullish on the dollar pretty much all year, and I will continue to stay bullish on the dollar until fundamentals pretty much change. So as you can see, pretty much prices bounced off last week, and then into this week we got a bit of a pullback, and then obviously the rate hike on Wednesday, and you can see the effect of that rate hike. So from a technical perspective, if you are looking to get short, right, if you are looking to get short, you can try and get short around anywhere within these supply zones. Again, this is just from a technical perspective, right? And if you are looking to get long, then what we have created is a demand zone, which is right here. So demand zone, and we may not obviously come back to this demand zone anytime soon, or we may, but if we don't, but what we do want to see is we want to see a bit of a pullback, right? And then you want to see prices make a new high, and then this becomes the new area of demand as we got higher lows and higher highs. And if you don't understand high lows and high highs and why they are some of the best areas for supply or demand, right, zones, then there is a video, the introduction into supply and demand, and it pretty much explains everything there. So US dollar, the Dow Jones Dollar Index is just a measure of obviously overall dollar strength against the major currencies. So again, if you're looking to get short on this currency pair, right, then you'd be looking for obviously shorting opportunities on any of the dollar crosses, whether that comes into a supply or a demand zone, depending on the base or the quote currency. So moving on to the dollar yen. So last week we came up into this supply zone here, and then we got some bullish news with regards to FOMC and the rate hike. So we can take off the supply zones and we can add this demand zone right here. What we need to also do is just add some more potential supply zones. Let me just move that over. Right, so you're gonna have, I'm trying to look for, probably the next one is gonna be within this area here, and this is what you would probably refer to as hidden, or I refer to as hidden supply, right? Got a bit of hidden supply, and for those of you who have taken the course, you will understand exactly why. In fact, you've probably got hidden supply there, but you've also got this whole level here. So I'd probably say it starts from around this 1157 level and then up to here. So it's quite a wide zone. We've got a whiles to go yet. We're at the about 150 pips before we start, actually a bit more than that, maybe 200 pips before we start getting up there. So the nearest supply zone is going to be right here, where you probably may see some some sort of profit taking, etc. Right. So if you did want to get short, you're looking at getting in short around here. Now, some of you may have obviously been looking at this supply and demand technical analysis basics, and I released a video this week just going over the supply and demand order equation, right? And it's from the supply and demand course, which is available on the website. It's about 50-55 minutes long. It's just one part, you know, a small part of the videos, and in it I really go over supply and demand from a technical trading psychology perspective. So I talk about willing supply and forced supply, and willing demand and forced demand, right? So the video is in the link in the description box below, and I go over all of, you know, step by step on how to really apply the supply and demand order equation to your trading, right? So if you're looking to get long on this trade, then you will be waiting for a pullback into this demand zone here, right, before looking to get long, and then, you know, short anywhere probably within this area, and again apply the supply and demand order equation. So within this supply zone, where have you got horizontal support and resistance, where have you got diagonal support and resistance, and where have you got dynamic support and resistance? And you don't necessarily have to have everything all lined up, but one or two of these will be good enough, and it depends on obviously your fundamental and sentiment bias. So moving on to the dollar Swiss and the dollar Swiss trade, and I thought I'd go into a bit of depth on this trade. So first things first, managed to get about 150 pips out of this trade. I entered down here. Now, what was my reasons for entering at this level of demand? So first things first, I always look towards my fundamental bias, and for those of you that have been following me for a while, you will know that you know, I am bullish on the dollar, and I am, you know, bearish on the Swiss franc. And if you want to get access to this fundamental analysis spreadsheet, it's absolutely free. It's just my thoughts on, you know, which direction I will be buying and selling based on fundamental analysis, and you can get access to the fundamental analysis course, which is absolutely free, just by pretty much just signing up. Link is in the description box below. And again, you guys will know that I've been, you know, bullish dollar, bearish Swiss franc also as well. About 4 weeks ago, this is the Trading 180 channel, I put a video out saying Forex market analysis, is the Swiss franc a sell, right? And I go over all of, you know, my reasons for thinking that or assuming an evidence from a fundamental perspective as to why the Swiss franc is a potential sell, right, and why it's going to get weaker, right? And then on top of that, you've probably seen on the screen, this was the latest Swiss National Bank press conference, and this was on the September the 20th, right? And they pretty much say the central bank said that the Swiss franc is highly valued, and confirmed it will continue to intervene in the foreign exchange markets. They've been saying this for, you know, quite a few months now, and you know, and as long as other things as well, they really think that it's highly valued, right? And they're willing to intervene. For me, intervening basically means they want to make their currency cheaper. And what we're doing as traders is, if you're just trading technical analysis, it's really impossible for you to know these types of edges, right? This is an edge beyond a price chart, right? You got statistical edges and patterns and things like that, fine. But if you know that the Swiss National Bank is willing to intervene in the currency, that's like the ultimate edge you can have, right? And also as well on the other side, right, with the US dollar looking to raise interest rates, you know, GDP is brilliant, inflation's okay, it's a no-brainer, right, to choose the currency, you know, choose currencies that are strong against weak, right, if you want to look for trending markets, right? So again, you can watch back through the videos, even last week and the week before's videos, my technical analysis, and I kind of, you know, drop hints. I don't like to really talk about everything that I'm doing on these videos, because I'm not a financial advisor. You know, I do lose trades, right? But when I win, you know, more than I lose, right? And the reason why I don't, you know, obviously, you know, talk about every trade that I'm doing, I do hint, but it's just simply because there's traders out there that will, you know, try and take every single trade. And again, if I lose 1 or 2 trades in a row, then, oh, this guy doesn't, you know what he's talking about, blah, 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 whatever. I don't really want to get into that. But I did take this trade down here into this demand zone, right? I was waiting for this trade. I actually took a few trades, which I did win a little on, not much, few small positions. Took this trade, and sometimes these things do take time to play out, as there is another thing which I talk about, I think another video where I talk about bull traps and bear traps, and the zero-sum game, and why you know, moves don't necessarily happen all the time, but they, you know, they draw traders in, you know, to get short, and then, you know, basically the short squeeze, you know, or long squeeze happens, right? And banks can't trade how we trade. Yeah, banks have to scale in. Yeah, they have to do something called iceberg orders, right? And if you're aware of iceberg orders, then you'll understand that, you know, it can take, you know, days, weeks, and even sometimes, you know, months for them to, you know, complete, you know, their massive orders, right? So for me, I was always going to be a buyer down here, and I had some limited success over the weeks, and then obviously now we've got, you know, the big trade, the 150 pip trade, right, that I was looking for. And now you're seeing the effect of, you know, the fundamentals and the sentiment, you know, come into effect, right? So really the entry as well, in case you guys want to know, the entry was on a 4-hour candlestick, and it was the 2 candle swing, which I teach in the course, which is, if we go to candlestick entries, right, this green candle right here, right, there's a 2 candle swing entry, stopped just below the low, right? I think it was about 50 pip, yeah, so about 55 pip, you know, entry, and then took profit at the 97.50 level right here. So a nice you know, 3-to-1 type of trade. You know, some people might be asking, why did I get out here, why didn't I continue on? And I am planning to re-enter, you know, at demand zones if this produces a demand zone, but you know, you want to take profit along the way. And I'm in another, you know, Swiss trade, CAD Swiss, which is beyond this, obviously, this weekly chart trade, and I'm all right on that one as well. So yeah, pretty much that was the dollar Swiss trade that I, you know, took. And for those of you that obviously took it with me, you know, you're seeing the benefits of fundamentals really kind of play out in the markets, right? We can get rid of that supply zone, and that supply zone again start drawing some fresh demand zones and fresh supply zones if we do have any. So demand zone here, and that's pretty much the only one. So what we're looking for, if we're looking to be a buyer again, if you're still in this trade and still holding, obviously this is going to be probably your next target before probably some sort of profit taking, or expect a pullback. It could obviously go straight through, but if we do get a pullback, markets don't go up forever, right? We do get a pullback, and then we start to create higher highs. They'll just wait for a pullback into the higher low before looking to get long. If you're looking to get short at this level, and maybe take advantage of some potential profit taking, then this is going to be the area if you do see some, you know, some price action, right? So let's just go back to a blank chart, right? So that's pretty much it. And again, apply the supply and demand order equation and look to see where willing and forced demand and supply will be entering the market. So moving on to the dollar CAD, and dollar CAD We had some, positive news for the CAD GDP on Friday, as well as the expectations of a rate hike. So traders who did get short on here, you can see the effect of that coming into play. If you're looking to be a buyer of this currency pair, then you're probably waiting for something to come down maybe deeper into this larger demand zone here. And if we're going to look for forced and willing demand and supply from the supply and demand equation, I'd probably say that would be probably the first area you'd be looking to potentially get long, as you got resistance, bit of support here, bit of support here as well. I think you might have something probably slightly higher, but it's reacted off of that already. So as we know, the more times the level is touched, the weaker it becomes. So he's touched it once, twice. So I kind of maybe it may, if again it comes down a bit deeper into this area here, it could hold as well, or what you could see is obviously price breakthrough and then look to be a buyer with two strong currencies, one already hiking rates and the other one looking to hike rates. The probability, I'm not saying this can't go down or up, but again it's like you've got two strong currencies, so potentially we could see more of a ranging market. So if you are entering into this type of or this currency pair, then you may want to just take quick profits. When I say quick profits, I just mean don't necessarily expect prices to trend anytime soon. Whether they will or won't is a different different thing. I don't know, but my expectation is for it to kind of range within a certain price at some point. So I'm not looking for this this currency pair to really start trending for the long term, even though again it could. So those you're buying, and again you're selling options. Moving on to the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, and been looking to get short, but just haven't been able to get short on this currency pair. If we're looking to get short now, it has created a lower high, lower low. So there's your supply zone right here. So if you do get prices come back up into this zone, this would be the first area to look to get short, and then there's your second and third. And again, don't forget to apply the supply and demand order equation for each level and trade that you take. And if prices do come back down here, if you want to be a buyer of the New Zealand dollar, this is where you'd be looking to get long. Those are the areas. Pound dollar, and this is as a result of last week. I think it was talks regarding a no-deal Brexit. So uncertainty has come back into the market, as well as an interest rate hike on the dollar. So what you're seeing is lower highs and lower lows being made. If you looking to get long on the dollar, right, then you're waiting for a pullback anywhere into this zone before looking to get short. If you're looking to get long on the pound, then this is going to be the first area for you to get long. Moving on to the pound yen. Let me just put this over. Right, so pound yen, again we came up into this area here, and we're in between this supply and this demand zone at the moment. Zoom out a little bit. So again, depending on whether you think the pound is going to get stronger, these are your areas. This is what we did last week. So I think that was the Friday, and then the Monday we did react off of this demand zone, again react off this supply zone. So at the moment we're in a bit of a range, right, which is what I call a value range between that low and that high. And we could see prices range between that low and that high. And again, if you want to be a buyer of the pound, that's going to be your second entry to try and get long, and there's your second entry to try and get short. Pound Swiss, and we did have a supply zone here, ended up coming down into this demand zone from last week. So Monday morning, pretty much prices now high, come up into this zone here. Again, both, well, the pound, in my opinion, is a decent currency from a fundamental perspective. It's just sentiment and risk sentiment wise. With Brexit, it's not the best, pair to really trade, as it can be unpredictable with just news announcements and a lot of volatility within the market. So if you do want to get short at the moment, this is going to be your area to try and get short. And again, you just get short on the on lower time frames, so like the 4 hour or the 6 hour if you see an entry. And if you're looking to get long, then this is going to be, actually, matter of fact, let's have a look. You've got a bit of an area. I'd say that's probably the first area to try and look to get long. And the higher this goes, then this would create a larger demand zone, as this would be created a higher high, as we have higher high, and then we got a higher low and a higher high being made. So if that does continue to go higher, then this whole area will continue to become a demand zone. But for now, I'll just put it like this, right? That'd be the first area for you to get long. Euro dollar, and euro dollar, we had FOMC on the Friday, and there's some political turmoil. I think it was the Italian budget apparently is an issue for the European Union. So we're seeing some negative sentiment as well as obviously positive fundamentals from the dollar. So what we have is another mini kind of supply zone. In fact, I'll just leave it as it is. Don't want to make the chart a bit too messy, but this whole area is again supply zone. You can see where prices have fallen away. Now if you're looking to get long on the euro, this would be the first area to try and look to get long. Second area to try and look to get long is right here. If you zoom out a little bit more, if you're looking to get long on the dollar, you're waiting for a pullback into this area before looking to get long again, or short I should say, on this currency pair. And then if that doesn't work out, get short around here. And again, I know I keep repeating myself, but apply the supply and demand order equation in the course. The short course is in the description box below for your viewing pleasure. And euro yen, right, we reacted off of this supply zone here, and just come short of this demand zone. So if you do want to be a buyer of the euro against the yen, this is going to be the first entry, second entry as far as the area. And if you want to be a shorter of the euro and a buyer of the yen, then you're looking at, that's going to be your first entry. And you've got one slightly higher up. Again, you've got confluence of horizontal support and resistance within that area. So if you did get short on this currency pair, you can start to see forced and willing supply, the equation take effect, right? Profit taking going on, new traders getting in, etc. right? Euro pound, we saw this big move up and based on sentiment, and then we've got a really kind of deep pullback. So what we do have is prices have come down into this zone here. So again, if you want to be a buyer right now, there's a pin bar on the daily. If you trade pin bars, this would be the area to try and look to get long. If you're looking to get short, then there is some supply up here It's not the textbook supply, but there is supply there nevertheless, and I'm going to put it on here as it is an area where traders would have definitely been entering long here. And you can see where traders you know, where suppliers actually come into the market. So if prices do come up into this area anywhere around here, I think there's going to be you know, some supply here. And again, I expect this currency pair to really kind of range within the near term. Where it will range from, no idea, but I expect it to be quite choppy and unpredictable, with obviously news about Brexit and obviously the Italian elections and whatever else Europe has going on. Especially close to the time, you're going to see probably a lot of what traders would refer to as like whipsawing and up and down and unpredictability. So just be careful when trading this currency pair. Euro Swiss. I've really wanted to get long in this demand zone, but we just didn't come down into this area here, unfortunately, and prices have gone on their merry way. We can delete this area here, and we did create higher highs, higher lows. This was a demand zone right here, right, and then we ended up spiking into this area before looking to get, you know, before prices actually got long. There wasn't an entry for me on the, you know, I trade the 4 hour. Rarely will I go below the 4 hour to look to get long. Plus I was already in on a couple of other Swiss franc trades, so didn't really bother me too much missing out on that trade. Missing trades doesn't bother me anyway, but if you did get long or managed to get long in that, well done. If you're looking to get long again, you're probably waiting for prices to really kind of come deeper into this zone before looking to get long, or maybe around this round number if prices do react around that 1.13 level. If you're looking to get short, then prices would have to come up into this demand zone before looking to get short. Euro Aussie, and last week we did react, you know, to this demand zone, and now we've come down into this area here. So again, if you think that the euro is going to get stronger against the Australian dollar, now you'd be looking for price action on a lower time frame to try and look to get long, and it has put in a 2 candle swing. Let's see. Right, yeah, right, 2 candle swing right there. So decent entry. Again, this isn't financial advice. I'm telling you to buy or sell. Do your fundamental analysis. If you're bullish on the euro, then this is going to be a very good entry. If you're not, then it's not. It's simple as. So from a daily perspective, if we're looking to get short on the Australian dollar, then this technically has created a lower low. Well, I say lower low, it's kind of taken out, it's pierced through demand. It hasn't taken it out yet, so I will still put it on there. Supply zone. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of this longer term supply zone right here. Just got blank, right? So let's get rid of that. Doesn't mean it's not there. I'm just going to try and make the charts a bit easier and less cluttered. So again, if we do get prices pull back up into this area, then it's going to be a first area to try and look to get short. This will be the second area to look to get short if you're looking to buy the Australian dollar. Moving up to the Aussie dollar. And the Aussie dollar, I did say that this was a bit of a supply zone. I think last week we've made lower highs, lower lows, so this is going to be where now your supply zone is, right? So if the prices do come back up into this area here, then look to get short. If not, that'd be a first area. If you're looking to get long, then I think this area is where you've got two areas. You've got that area there from a horizontal support and resistance. And then you've got this area right here where you've had support, bit of support and resistance, bit choppy, but then you've had bit resistance here, and you see it's reacted. So I'd wait for prices to really kind of come into this top area, this demand zone, before looking to get long. And again, you can also go down into a lower time frame and look to see where there are, you know, clearer areas of support and resistance, if you know what I mean. So you can see it here, support, support, support. So if you were looking to get long, then first area is at the top area here, second area is going to be around this 0.175 level, and then obviously right at the absolute lows. And then lastly, we've got the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. And the Japanese yen, if you want to be a buyer of it, you're going to be waiting for prices to come back up into this area right here. If you didn't take advantage of that pin bar there, and if you're looking to be a buyer of the Australian dollar, then you're waiting for prices to really come back down into this demand zone around here. Just keep in mind that the Australian dollar is does well in a risk on environment, and the yen will do well in a risk off environment, meaning that when there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, then the Japanese yen does, you know, this is basically like a safe haven play for investors. So that's the end. If you enjoyed this and found it useful, please like, please subscribe and share. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section below, or you can email me at info@trading180.com. Hope you have a great trading week and take care. So if you'd like to receive the best supply and demand Forex levels absolutely free, click on the link in the description box below, enter your email address, and we'll send you the levels that we have just analyzed in this video. You'll get all of the major Forex currency pairs, and you'll get regular updates and never miss a Forex trading opportunity.